It's probably Monday. Hey guys, hopefully you had a good, safe weekend. And today we're going to learn how to do the square root method for messy answers, which these are really not too bad. You just have to do an extra step or two at the end, which requires the answers to be a little bit messier. But let's go ahead and just jump right in and do this problem. So we actually know how to do this problem the old way. So normally this squared here would mean you would square inside here. Remember the shortcut, square the first, square the last, double the middle. And then we know to solve quadratics, we would move this guy over to the left, and so you'd get x squared minus 4x minus 21 equals 0. And then we could factor this guy, so what multiplies to be negative 21 adds to be a negative 4. And then you would set each of these guys equal to 0. So remember, this is x equals positive 7 and x equals negative 3. That wasn't too bad, but I did know the shortcut. I did factor easily in my head. So if you have any trouble with any of these steps, this is actually a very long method. So I'm going to show you how to do the genius way, which is what it's called on the notes. If you ever have some quantity squared, so something with an x and it's all squared into parentheses, this just means there's two of those things multiplied, so you can actually isolate this squared thingy and then just square root both sides. This is where that absolute value comes in, which I told you about the other day. This is absolute x minus 2 because it's x minus 2 times x minus 2, but I'm not sure if this x is a positive or negative. I don't know. And then root 25 is just 5. Now the positive negative route does make a difference. Positive route, remember, copy exactly as is. Negative route, copy exactly as is, but negate your answer. So positive 5 becomes a negative 5. And then you're just going to solve each of these. So add 2, x equals 7. Add 2, x equals negative 3. So therefore, x equals negative 3 and 7. Sometimes you'll get two distinct answers. Sometimes you'll get some sort of combination with a plus or minus, and I'll show you how to do both of those guys. All right, so let's just work our way through several examples. Again, isolate the parentheses with the squared, so that's already done. So just go straight to it and square root. These guys are the easiest ones to spot. So this method is really, really helpful because they're really easy to spot. All right, I did my absolute value on the inside. And then root 12, you have to actually reduce that. So root 12 is 4 times 3. So root 4 times root 3. Well, the square root of 4 is a 2. Square root of 3 is obviously just square root 3. Okay, I'm going to do a positive route and a negative route. So x plus 1 equals 2 root 3. And x plus 1 equals negative 2 root 3. All right, so to solve both of these routes, I do the same math on the left side. I need to subtract 1 from both sides. So when you minus 1, oops, okay, that says 1. You get x equals negative 1 plus 2 root 3. Over here you get minus 1. You get x equals negative 1 minus 2 root 3. Also, you can't do this negative 2 minus 1. Like, you can't get a negative 3 because this is a radical, and this is just a regular number, so those guys can't combine, so you just push them together. So you're going to get these two answers, but you need to write your answer as one answer. They both have a negative 1, and then I have a plus or minus a 2 root 3. You'll probably get better at these. You can kind of skip writing it separately. You could have just, and I'll scoot down here and do it down here. Once you had x plus 1 equals 2 root 3, you could have just said, oh, okay, well, I know it's going to be a positive negative route, and then how do I solve both? Oh, I'm sorry, there should be an absolute value bar there. I apologize. How do I solve both of these? Well, I'm going to minus 1 from both sides, and so I would get x equals negative 1 plus minus 2 root 3. So do it either way. It doesn't matter to me as long as in the end you have that plus or minus. There are two different answers. These always get two answers. And the ones that are weird will have that combination of that plus or minus. Okay, let's go over here. Again, first step is to isolate this, what's going to be an absolute value. So get rid of the 6. So divide by 6 on both sides. You're going to get parentheses x minus 4 squared equals 7. Okay, I've isolated it, so now I can go ahead and square root both sides. Absolute x minus 4 equals root 7. Again, this is going to end up being, when I do positive route, negative route, it's going to be x minus 4 equals positive negative root 7. Either way, because I do that positive 7 on one side and the negative 7, or the negative root 7 on that side. All right, how do I solve both these routes together? Literally just add that 4 straight over, so it is 4 plus minus root 7. All right, so on this example, I'm going to get rid of this plus minus stuff first and then get rid of the firmly attached. So minusing 3, you're going to get 2 parentheses x minus 3 squared equals 18. I've got to isolate this x squared stuff, so divide by 2, divide by 2. I'm going to get x minus 3 squared equals 9. Then, because I've isolated, I can go ahead and just square root both sides. I'm going to get absolute x minus 3 equals square root of 9 is 3. And on these, I don't usually do the plus minus because you are going to have two separate actual constant answers. So I would just go ahead and say x minus 3 equals positive 3, x minus 3 equals negative 3, and then solve both of those guys out individually. It's still the same math. You're still going to add 3 on both sides, so you get x equals 6 and x equals 0. But I do not want to see x equals 3 plus or minus 3, because you can actually do the math. X equals 3 plus 3 is 6, x equals 3 minus 3 is 0. So I do not want to see this. I do want to see the two separate answers when they actually are separate answers. The only time you write it like this is there's a radical inside there somewhere. Okay? All right, so now we're going to move on to the more complex ones. If they have a number on the inside, the answers are going to be messier, but still same process. I need to isolate this squared thing, so get rid of this negative, divide both sides by negative. It literally just changes the signs on either side. Okay, I have isolated my squared term, so I'm going to square root both sides. So absolute 2x minus 1 equals square root of 45 is a 9 times a 5, so square root of 9, square root of 5. Hopefully you're doing that shortcut where you don't actually do a factor tree, but do what you got to do. Square root of 9 is a 3. Square root of 5 is just 5. I'm sorry, root 5. So I'm stuck with that guy. Now, because I am going to have a radical, I can go ahead and do that plus minus thing here if that makes more sense to you. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this guy out and say, oh, positive route would have a positive 3 root 5, and the negative route would have a negative 3 root 5. Now I'm still trying to get x by itself, so I'm going to add that 1 over. And I can't add it to the actual number. It's going to be literally 1 plus minus 3 root 5. Then I'm trying to get x by itself still, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So my answer is x equals, and just literally write 1 plus minus 3 root 5 over 2, and you are done. That is the messiest these answers get. There will be more complicated ones here in just a minute with the reduce, but that's the messiest they get ever in this method. All right, so I've got 2 more examples, 1 word problem, and then we are done. All right, so again, going to isolate the squared section, so divide both sides by 2. You're going to get 3x plus 2 squared equals 9. I'm going to go ahead and square root both sides. Absolute value, 3x plus 2 equals square root of 9 is 3. So again, because I have just a number and no radical, I'm not going to do the positive, negative in front of it. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the positive and negative route because I'm actually going to get 2 separate numbers and not have any radicals. Okay, so I'm going to have 3x plus 2 equals a positive 3 and a 3x plus 2 equals a negative 3. It's the same process to solve both. I'm going to minus 2. I'm going to divide by 3. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to minus 2 and divide by 3. So my answers are x equals negative 5/3 and 1/3. So I did get 2 separate answers that are completely different. Again, I do not want to see, I mean, it's technically correct. You could say x equals and I would subtract 2, so negative 2 plus minus 3 divided by 3. But, I mean, do the math. Negative 2 plus 3 divided by 3. There's that guy. Negative 2 minus 3 divided by 3. There's that guy. So I do not want to see that answer. If it's going to be just a regular number, I do want to see both numerical values there. Okay. All right, last one of these just regular examples here. So again, isolate the thing, times by 2. So 2x minus 6 squared equals 48. Square root both sides. Hope I'm not going too fast, but I've got 5 minutes left on this video. All right, so squaring both sides, I'm getting 2x minus 6 equals, and then square root of 48. 48 is 16 times 3. So square root of 16, square root of 3. Square root of 16 is a 4. Square root of 3 is stuck as a 3. And because I have a radical, this is one that I would shortcut. And again, you can always do positive, negative, if that makes more sense to you. But I do know it's going to be a positive, negative 4 root 3. To solve this, I would add 6. And then I would divide both sides by 2. Okay? So I'm going to get x equals 6 plus minus 4 root 3 over 2. Well, if you ever have all 3 outside numbers that share a common factor, you can actually reduce those. So 6, 4, and 2 all share a common factor of 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. I don't care about inside stuff because remember, inside, inside, outside, outside. So I'm only dealing with outside. This will never, ever change. And 2 goes into 2 1 time. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 goes into 2 1 time, so it's divided by 1, but we don't write divide by 1. So your answer is 3 plus minus 2 root 3. And that's the hardest these questions will ever get, is having to reduce, and it has to be all 3 outside numbers. That's the worst it ever gets, is having to reduce those 3 numbers. If, say, one of them did not reduce, say this was like a 6 and a 7 and a 2, you'd be stuck. Has to be all 3 with the same common factor to actually reduce. All right, and last problem. A right triangle has one leg that is 2 times as long as the other leg. So we'll go ahead and call the other leg x, and then the one leg is 2x, and the hypotenuse is root 80. All right, find the lengths of the legs. All right, I didn't give you area or anything like that, so if you have a right triangle, the only thing you can do is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Keep in mind that the c squared is always across from the hypotenuse, so I'm just going to call this guy 2x squared plus x squared equals root 80. Oh, root 80 squared. All right, then I've got my problem taken care of, so now I'm just going to go ahead and do the math. 2x squared is 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. X squared is just x squared. And don't forget root 80, you could reduce it or whatever, but root 80 times root 80 is just going to be 80. Okay, I can combine these guys together. They are 5x squared equals 80. I'm going to, divide by 5, divide by 5. I'm going to get x squared equals, and I don't know the answer to that, 16. All right, I'm going to move this. There we go. Okay, we got a minute and some change before this video runs out. Okay, sorry, this one's a little messy. Okay, so 5x squared equals 80, divide both sides by 5, you get x squared equals 16. Square root, x equals positive negative 4. Well, the question said find the lengths of the other legs, so I do need to take this 4, which actually I have 2 answers. I have x equals positive 4 and x equals negative 4, but I can't use a negative 4 because if I plug in negative 4 in for my side length, that doesn't make any sense. So x equals 4, I'm just going to take that back in and plug it in. Plug it in here, I get one side is 4 inches, and the other side, 2 times 4, is 8 inches. Okay, I succeeded. So there's my answer. On the notes sheet, so this will be listed pretty much directly below this quiz, there are several examples on that very last page of the notes. It says questions 6, 7, 8, and 9, the very last page. I would go look at those notes just to see how other triangle questions are set up, but they're all the same, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Just depends on if they're numbers or variables or whatever. So I would just go check those out, and I will have one question on this quiz, and the rest of your homework will be on Delta Math. So just go check that out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Be safe and make good choices.